Now, you might be wondering, well, why should I limit myself? Isn't it better to offer everything? Well, here's the truth. If you're trying to appeal to everyone, you're likely speaking to no one. This leads to attracting the wrong audience and wasting time on discovery calls that lead to nowhere. Want to transform your business into a brand that truly shines? Well, you're in the right place. My name is Sommer Vega, and I am thrilled to have you here. With over 25 years of experience from leading communications teams to building my business from scratch, I've seen it all: setbacks, success, and everything in between. And guess what? I'm here to spill the beans on what it truly takes to build and sustain a brilliant brand. So whether you're just starting out or looking to revamp your existing brand, you'll find golden nuggets of wisdom right here. We'll dive deep into strategies, mindset shifts, and nitty-gritty details that make brands extraordinary. Stick around, because Brilliant Brands Academy is where we believe that every entrepreneur has the potential to create something truly exceptional. And together, we'll turn that potential into reality. So hit the subscribe button and let's get started on this exciting journey to brand brilliance. Welcome back to the Brilliant Brands Academy podcast. I'm your host, Sommer Vega, and today we're tackling a challenge many entrepreneurs face, and that is the overwhelming desire to offer everything to everyone without a clear strategy. Trust me, it's just too much. Over the years, I encountered countless business owners who jumped into entrepreneurship without a solid plan. They end up throwing out so many ideas that it confuses not only them, but more importantly, their customers. Let me share a quick story. Recently, I had a phone call with a potential partner. We were connected through a salesperson to a business owner. And honestly, it felt like she didn't have the time or energy to engage with me. When she did speak, it was clear that she was juggling multiple projects, and her business honestly is impressive, but she was promoting a new conference that didn't even align with her target audience. This experience highlights a couple of crucial lessons which tee up our conversation today. The first one is you don't want to offer so many services that you're confusing your audience, and surely you don't want to offer something that does not align with your target audience's need. You begin to create brand confusion when you do that. And then the second one is you never know who you're talking to. In that conversation, I sensed she assumed I wouldn't be interested or capable of purchasing her services simply based upon her perception of me. Now, this happens more often than you may think because by nature, I'm a very introverted person, and I am one who looks way younger than I actually am. I get that often, and therefore individuals often misinterpret me and my experience, and they underestimate what I know and can contribute. So now that I am, dare I say, approaching 50 in just a few years, I've learned to shed these assumptions before even picking up the phone. So when you're on a discovery call, you have to avoid assuming how much someone can spend or how informed they are. Doing so can seriously hurt your business. I'll let you in on a secret. When I first started my business, I was guilty of this too. In fact, I interact with seasoned professionals and shy away from declaring myself as an entrepreneur, fearing that they would dismiss my small little business, as some people say, as just another side hustle. But here's the kicker. My business is my lifeline. It is not a hobby by any means at all. However, because I viewed my business as quote unquote less than a corporate paycheck, it showed in my demeanor and in my messaging. I often questioned why anyone would even want to buy from me. Ironically, I've discovered that the very people I thought had it all together often needed my services the most. Another point to consider is don't judge someone's ability to pay based on your own financial experiences. You see, just because someone appears less affluent doesn't mean they can't invest in your offerings. This is a lesson I learned the hard way. Undervaluing ourselves can lead to resentment. I once took on a client who received top quality work. I'm telling you, I worked my butt off, and it was for just a fraction of what it was worth. And I did this simply because I was so desperate for clients. And guess what happened? They kept demanding more, and I ended up feeling stressed and quite honestly, very resentful of their business because I feel used. When you undervalue yourself, you feel like you're giving more than you are earning. And that's never a good feeling. The takeaway here is straightforward. You have value and you cannot make assumptions about others. Now let's circle back to what I want to focus on today. And that is creating a clear path for your audience to understand what you offer. This is relevant to what I've just shared with you because it creates a turnkey approach to promoting your services and value to others, leaving absolutely no room for making assumptions of potential clients. You see, your offer is your offer, and the investment required is the investment required, period. Therefore, in looking at my services in this way, I discovered that even with multiple products and multiple services in your business, a structured framework is very essential. For instance, in my business, I've developed 3 distinct pathways. They are learn, build, and grow. Learn is the pathway for those who are just starting out in entrepreneurship or business leaders who need foundational knowledge in regards to branding, public relations, and communications. I offer both online and live courses here. In the build pathway, I work with entrepreneurs and really a lot of business leaders in government agencies, universities, nonprofits who want to hire my agency as their agency on record. They want me to execute their ideas, and they know the basics, but need assistance bringing everything to life. So I pretty much do the work for them. These are the clients who are on more of a retainer basis. Some are project-based, but many of them are retainers. In the grow pathway, we focus on coaching, and this primarily tends to be solopreneurs who are ready to expand their business on their own. This structured approach provides clarity, so no matter how many products or services you offer, you have to aim to create no more than 3 clear pathways for your audience to follow. Each pathway should resonate with specific segments within your target audience. Now, you might be wondering, well, why should I limit myself? Isn't it better to offer everything? Well, here's the truth. If you're trying to appeal to everyone, you're likely speaking to no one. This leads to attracting the wrong audience and wasting time on discovery calls that lead to nowhere. Quality triumphs quantity every single time. You see, when I began attracting the right people, those who are aligned with my vision, my conversion rates skyrocketed. In fact, once I streamlined my offerings, my conversion rates reached about 90%. And those who didn't buy right away remained engaged, often circling back when they were ready to buy. So let's talk about nurturing those relationships, especially those who aren't ready to buy right away. You don't want to write those individuals off. You want to nurture them. When potential clients reach out to me, they often express, I'm trying to gather the funds to position myself to use your services. This indicates their interest, but also highlights the need for more of a nurturing approach. As business owners, we must create succinct pathways that guide our clients from discovery, whether through social media, networking events, or even a blog, to a point where they fully understand what we offer and are ready to make a purchase. Think of this process like dating. Initially, there's an attraction and you might see someone at an event and think, wow, they seem very interesting. Then you engage in conversation with them, gradually getting to know them. But just like in dating, you don't want to propose on the first date. There has to be a courtship. In fact, if you propose on the first date, it almost feels icky and weird, like red flag. So there's a courtship. You nurture a relationship, you build trust, you build understanding until you reach a point where both parties are ready to commit. In business, this means providing value-driven content, educational posts, behind-the-scenes glimpses at your work, and even freebies to nurture that relationship. After some time, your audience will feel connected to you and ready to take the next step, whether it's scheduling a discovery call, attending a free masterclass, or subscribing to your updates, and then most importantly, clicking that purchase button to make a commitment. But here's the key. You have to create a clear map for the audience. This pathway should guide them through every single stage, from awareness to consideration and ultimately to making that purchase. When they're ready for a discovery call, have a well-defined journey prepared for them. Your pitch doesn't need to take an hour. Aim for 20 to 30 minutes max. If you know your messaging and the key points, it shouldn't take long at all. In fact, let's talk about the discovery call. This is your golden opportunity to connect with potential clients, understanding their needs, and present your offerings in a meaningful way. So like I said, this should take no more than 20 to 30 minutes. Let's break it down into key segments. First is your opening, which should only take about 5 minutes. This is where you set the tone for your conversation, starting with greetings and introductions, saying something like, hello, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today. I'm really looking forward to our conversation. Then you'll get into the purpose of a call. Clearly state the purpose, where you might say something like, the goal of today's call is to learn more about your business challenges and explore how we can work together to achieve your goals. That's simple. 5 minutes. Give them the chance to give their answers, and then you move on into the next part of your conversation, and that's really understanding their needs. This should be about 10 minutes. This is where you really want to engage with them. Ask open-ended questions and begin by asking questions that encourage them to share more. Try asking, what prompted you to reach out to me today? Or can you tell me something specific that's challenging for you that you're facing in your business? Then you want to practice active listening. As they respond, listen carefully and begin to take notes. This shows you value their input and also helps you how to tailor your responses later. If something isn't clear, don't hesitate to ask follow-up questions. For instance, you might say something like, could you elaborate on that challenge a bit more? I'd love to understand it better. Once you have a clear knowledge of their business needs and you've asked all of the clarifying questions, gotten to know them a bit more, you can move into the next part of the conversation, which is presenting your offerings. Here is where you'll connect the dots between their needs and what you can provide. After they've shared their challenges, explain how your services can help. For example, you could say something like, based on what you've shared about whatever specific challenge they have, I believe our services can really make a difference. Now you'll introduce your structured pathways. So remember, mine are learn, build, and grow. So using my business structure and my pathways as an example, I would say something like, if you're looking for hands-on assistance, our build pathway could be a great fit. It focuses on executing strategies that align with your goals, and we'll do it for you as if we are a part of your in-house communications team. That's something that rolls off my tongue because it is a part of my messaging and my discovery process that I use time and time again. And of course, if based on my conversation with a potential client, they are leaning towards the pathway of learn, then of course my recommendations would be different. But I know what route I can offer this potential client based on the communication in this discovery call. After I've presented these pathways, I give them an opportunity to ask any questions. You address any questions and inquiries that they have with a sense of understanding. I believe that you don't have to be pushy to get a sale because at the end of the day, you want quality leads and not just quantity. Because the quality leads will be the individuals that you are directly speaking with in your target audience, and they are perfect for your business. And in many cases, some people don't make a decision right away because they need to sit on it, and you have to respect that. You have to respect the fact that they do want to take their time and make a educated decision. Remember, you're not begging your clients. You've already nurtured that relationship. And if you haven't nurtured it and you're ready to they're not ready to make a purchase, then you know that there is a need to create more trust in that individual. And often that's just giving them more value. They need to get to know you more. So no need to push. I mean, just like dating, going back to that, no need to push it for it. Just let the relationship take place. Give them the time that they need to get to know who you are and what you offer. Remember, there is business out here for everybody, and your business is specifically for a specific group of people. One of the core values of my business is one that is understanding. So even that pushy nature is just not in our culture whatsoever. I like to give individuals the opportunity to make educated decisions concerning their next steps. And I assure them that I am there for them every step of the way. And until they make the decision, I'm willing to just continue adding value by encouraging them to subscribe to the podcast, to follow me on my social media channels, and to check out my blog. That way, like I said earlier, we can nurture that relationship a bit more and they begin to learn, like, and trust me. Now, let's talk about the very last step, and that is your conclusion. You clearly define in this next step exactly what will happen next. So you could say something like, I'll follow up with a proposal outlining our discussion, and we can schedule another call to go over it in detail. Then, of course, you would express gratitude, thanking them for their time and letting them know that you appreciate the opportunity to present your business to them. And of course, offer to schedule the follow-up meeting right away. So you could say something like, can we set a date for our next conversation to keep the momentum going? This is important because you don't want the next meeting to just kind of fall off and then you're chasing them in emails to set a date. Go ahead and schedule that next meeting as soon as possible to ensure that you're in top of mind. And just like we said, to keep the momentum going. Now, by following this structured framework for your discovery call, you'll create a focused and productive conversation that respects both your time and that of your potential clients. Remember, this is not just about pitching your services. It's also about building a relationship and showing how you can genuinely help them achieve their goals. So go into your next discovery call with confidence and watch how these strategies transform your conversation. So as you reflect on your business today, I want you to ask yourself, are you confusing your audience with too many offers? Are you making assumptions about their abilities and interests? Let's be clear that we need to cut out the clutter. Establish your pathways and truly connect with your audience. Remember, you have something valuable to offer, and it's time to communicate that clearly. Thank you for joining me today on the Brilliant Brands Academy podcast. If you found value in this episode, please be sure to subscribe, rate it, and share it with fellow entrepreneurs and business leaders. Until next time, keep building your brilliant brand.